So what if I told you that as real estate agents, you're able to keep more of your commission and generate passive income without having to change your business model? In this video, I want to share with you the pros and cons of joining Real Broker LLC. Alright, before we jump into the video, let's quickly talk about who Real Broker is and what they offer to agents. Now, Real Broker, if you haven't heard of them before, they're a cloud-based brokerage. They started the company in about 2014 and they've grown over to about 10,000 agents now. They're in 45 states and also the 3 provinces in Canada. Those include British Columbia, Calgary, and also Ontario. Alright, so 3 things they offer to agents who are considering joining them. The first thing is they help agents build wealth. The second thing is that they have a very collaborative culture. And the third thing is that they provide technology to those agents. Now, in terms of building wealth, there's really 3 ways that you can build wealth at the company. And number one is they have a low split and a low cap, and there's no monthly fees. The second way is that you have an option to purchase their stock. And then also the third way is that there's a revenue share model where if you attract agents, then you get paid a portion of their splits. Now, for collaborative culture, you can learn from the best agents in the industry. You also have access to training, videos. I think there's about 500 courses there that you can access on demand. And they also host weekly webinars that you can attend as well. Now, for the technology part, they place a lot of emphasis on that. And so that's what they've developed their own in-house mobile app where agents can work on the go. And also for CRM, they use Chime. Well, if you don't know what Chime is, it's a very powerful CRM that leverages a lot of AI technology. And so you're able to free up your time with those technology so you can work on better things. All right, so now that we have an understanding of who Real is and what they offer to agents, let's quickly talk about the pros and cons. And the first thing is that there is no physical offices. Now, this could be a deal breaker for people who need those spaces and who get distracted at home. But for me personally, it wasn't that big of a deal just because I wasn't going into the office that much anyways. And when I meet my clients, I usually meet them at a coffee shop close to them, or also I do a Zoom call. Now, what 2020 has taught me was that you can do that and people still have no issues with that. And not to mention all the time that I would save driving to the office and looking for parking spots. And now if you're someone that needs that belly-to-belly interaction, then this might be a deal breaker for you. Now, the second con is that there's no broker office access. So this is very similar to the first point, but I want to dive a little bit deeper, especially for those newer agents who are just getting started. Now, there's something to be said that when you can just walk into the office, walk down the hall, knock on the office manager's door and ask your questions. Now, this is very useful. The old brokerage I was at, I was able to do that. But I want to encourage you to put a price tag on that access. Is it worth what you're paying every month in order to get the access? Now, don't get me wrong. You'll still get your questions answered at Real. You would do it through a form of call, text, email, or their app. You still get your answers, but it's just the way in which you get your answers. All right, now that we cover the reasons why you shouldn't join Real, let's talk about the pros. Now, the first one is that they have a lower split and a cap. Their split is 85-15 and a $12,000 cap. Now, this is a lot lower compared to other brokerages. And after the cap, you have $225 transaction fee per deal, $150 initial sign-up fee, and also a $500 annual anniversary fee. Now, the $500 annual fee gets taken out from your first 2 transactions. So if you're one of those agents that don't do a lot of deals or you're just part-time, then you don't have to worry about coming up with that $500 because it'll come straight out of your first 2 transactions. Now, in terms of monthly fees, as mentioned, there's no monthly fees. The only monthly fee that they have is optional, which is for Chime, the CRM. Now, like we mentioned before, that Chime is a powerful CRM and usually is $500 a month if you wanted to get it on your own. But they were able to cut a deal with Chime and you only have to pay $31 for Chime, which I think in this case it's worth it. Now, you might be wondering, how are they able to charge so low for these monthly fees? And does that mean that they provide less value? Well, absolutely not. The reason why they're able to do that is because they don't have middlemen. They don't have offices or staff, a lot of overhead costs to cover. They're cloud-based brokerage. So it's literally just them and then you. Whereas if you compare that to the traditional brokerages, you have your REMAX, you have your regional offices, your regional manager, managing brokers, franchise fees, all the overhead costs that traditional brokerages have to cover. And so that's why they're able to charge so less and still provide more value. So personally, I was getting charged about 20 to 25% split. And on top of that, there was also about $500 a month in desk fees. So by switching to Real, I'm saving quite a bit of money. Now, the second pro is that you get to earn free stocks to build your wealth. Believe it or not, Real actually trades on the Toronto Stock Exchange and also the NASDAQ. They're trading at about $1.29 and have a market cap of about 232 million. Now, if you compare that with similar players in the industry like EXP, right, they're trading about 2 billion and I think a price about $12 to $13. Now, if you just do some rough calculations, right, you can expect that Real might end up at $12, $13 down the road. So I think there's a lot of potential in that market. And also, remember, Real is only in 3 provinces in Canada, whereas EXP is more established in those areas. So can you imagine if when Real gets to the point where they're in everywhere? All right, so there's 4 ways that you can earn free stocks at Real. Now, the first way is through their stock purchase plan, which if you take your 5% of the commission to buy the stock, they'll offer you 15% as bonus. And after the cap, if you offer 10% of your commission to buy the stock, they'll offer you 30%. Now, the second way you can do that is through hitting your cap. Now, if you hit your $12,000 cap, then they'll offer you 250 shares. The third way is through attracting another agent. Now, if you bring in an agent and they join Real, you get 125 shares. All right, the last way that you can earn free stocks is through their performance award. So what that means is you have to incur about 9Ks of post-cap transaction fees, which just means you have to close 40 deals roughly, or you hit your 500K in GCI and have 10 deals at least greater than 1 million. So if you achieve all that, then you can get about 16K worth of free stocks. Now, if you want to teach on the side, you can also earn about 8K worth of free stock. So as you can see, there's a lot of ways that you can make money at Real, but let's get to the last point where you can even make more money, and that is revenue share. So another pro is that you're able to generate passive income through their revenue share model. I've put a table right here to show you what it looks like. Now you can see that for every agent you directly refer to Real, you're able to get $4,000 a year. Now how it works is that, remember that agents, they have to pay a 15 split at Real. So instead, all 15% go to Real. Real gives you that 5% to you. Now I think $4,000 is quite generous, especially when you compare it to other brokerages like EXP. I think I know they pay about $2,800, and Keller Williams, they pay even less. So if you come to think of it, if you only bring in 3 agents, you're able to cover your cap. Essentially, you get to keep all your commissions. Now, obviously, the more agents that you bring in, the more tiers that you can unlock. So I want you to think about the potential that you could have if you start to attract more and more agents into Real. Not only do you get to work with people that you like, but you're also able to earn passive income on the side. Now, I think that this is a brilliant model, especially when sometimes when things are a little bit slower for some agents, you're able to use that passive income to just cover some extra expenses to get through the tough months. All right, so those are the pros and cons of joining Real on a very high level. Now, final thoughts before ending the video is that I think that digital brokerage or cloud-based brokerage are going to be the future, just because they have a lot less overhead and they're able to take that money that's saved and invest it in agents to help them grow their business. All right, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Comment below what you think the future of real estate brokerages will look like. And if you have any questions about Real Broker, feel free to send me a message or book a link in the description below, and I'd be happy to chat.